Morning! Gary here with another Broker Basics. You know, I'm trying to educate and inspire and motivate the mortgage industry and give you more insights than is potentially available out there. So I'm quite happy to take criticism, feedback, and change my point of view. But also I'm willing to stand up for what I believe in and actually wanted to do a part 2 to this because following the feedback and the comments on yesterday's video, there are some networks that will do more than just compliance for you. So one of the most, to mention some of the networks that I believe, that the comments believe would do more stuff for you. You know, Primus. I was part of Primus for 6 months, from June 2018 through till about January 2019. And yes, they are most forward thinking. I went to a leadership conference. They do annual conferences, they do different masterminds, different workshops. And one of the people, Martin, a member of this group, said that he's been to 2 masterminds, 6 workshops, other things booked in order to be able to help you to build and grow your business. You know, I've had Richard Coulson on my podcast and he is definitely forward thinking. He definitely loves training around protection and trusts and giving back more to advisors. But that is one network out of quite a few that are out there. Another one that was mentioned was the Right Mortgage Network. You know, they do some of the things like equity release courses. They've got, they allow you the freedom to build your business the way you want to build it 99% of the time was the feedback that was given. They do other training and development for your advisors. Sesame, one person commented and said that on his research, he does about 120 million in lending a year, and he believes that actually that gets him about 70,000 more being an AR of Sesame than it does being a DA. HLP is another one that was mentioned that are interested in the development of the advisors and development of their businesses and their brokerages. So there are networks out there and people that are with them that equally will do things to help you build your business. But on the other side of the coin, after I did my videos yesterday, I went to my mentees in my academy group and into the WhatsApp group, and I said, look, you guys give me your honest opinion, give me some feedback, tell me what you guys think in comparison to what I've already mentioned from the people who commented on yesterday's video. And there was still some supportive things in there for the likes of Primus and the Right Mortgage Network. But then equally, some people who had been in the industry for many, many years said, no support, networks are useless. They're only there as a route to market. They're only there for purely compliance. They're only interested in taking a cut of your money and your commissions. So like anything, there is a big debate. There is a massive opinion based on who you're with, who's supporting you, which company you're with, and how that's ultimately going to work. Now, one of the things that I know is someone said that compliance firms stop you from having visits from the FCA. Now, I can tell you I've been directly authorised since 2008 and I've not had one visit from the FCA at all. It's not something that you need to be worried about or scared of. And if they do come out and see you, this is where you can have a compliance company who completely support you. I've had 4 over the years. A company called eComply in Manchester. I've worked with Paradigm Mortgage Club, who have also got a DA arena or an area. I worked with Simply Business for 12 months last year, and I now work with Richdale, who are directly authorised. They've got an AR network, but they also have a DA network, and they do everything that all the other networks I've already mentioned do in relation to compliance, financial promotions, supporting and training advisors, giving me supervisor function and making sure that I'm doing all the things that I need to do in terms of monitoring advisors and building the business. They do the compliance aspect. Now, being a directly authorised firm, what they don't do is they don't give you the business support, the training, the coaching, the mentoring element. And that is really how Mortgage Pro has come about. But also it came about because of the people that are in the academy and what I've seen going on in the free group around no support, useless, purely compliance. So there is a big divide out there, and this is where it comes down to making sure that you are with the right company. As I said, I think yesterday on my video, I see people just purely commenting and saying, I'm looking for the best percentage. Who gives the best percentage as a network? But what you're not taking into account within that percentage is what are you actually getting for your money? If you want just purely the lowest percentage, then there's going to be a network out there that's just literally going to do your compliance. If you want business support, growth, workshops, mentoring, leadership, culture, all of that, then that is worth additional percentages for you. And then you might want to look at somebody like Primus, the Right Mortgage Network, Sesame, or potentially be part of a DA organisation, because that's where you've got to think, is if you're an advisor working for an appointed representative of a network, the network is taking their cut, and then your AR is taking their cut, and you're getting the remainder. So actually you're getting 75% or 70% or 60% of 80 or 85%. You're not getting 80% of 100. So that's the things that you need to understand about the industry and the way it works. But I think if you're part of a network and you're not getting the business support, the growth, the mentoring, the coaching, the training, the workshops that you want, the first thing to do is ask, is that available? Because I know, being a directly authorised firm, and bearing in mind it's much harder to become directly authorised today than it was back in 2008, that the FCA want to have more networks, because it's much easier for the FCA to monitor 10 networks rather than 100 different advisor companies. In the same way that it's much easier for networks to monitor 10 AR firms than it is to monitor 100 sole trader advisors. So the big thing from a network perspective is they will push their heart, they will give more to their high-flying advisors and their high-flying business owners and the ones who want to grow and build and develop. Because yes, it earns more money for the network, but also it's easier to coach and mentor, it's easier to manage that rather than trying to manage loads of individual firms. So I do want to stay impartial. Everyone's going to have their preference. The ones who love their networks are going to stick up and stand up for their networks. I love being DA. I love not having to use packages. I love the freedom and autonomy that I have to build my own fact find, my own systems, my own processes, to outsource a lot of the compliance and have a compliance network who give me the opinions of what I should and need to do, but it still comes down to my choice rather than being told the way in which it has to be done, what social media I can and can't do. So it's one of those things that you just need to bear in mind. Also, being DA, you are completely free to choose the protection panel you use, the lenders that you're going to use, the rate. You don't have to have rated premiums on your life insurance. So some networks out there have a very small number of protection providers that they offer, as well as rating the premiums, i.e. putting an increase on the actual normal price that someone would get. So that's unethical in my opinion, and I think all networks should stop doing that. But as I say, to summarise, if you love your network, brilliant. I'm pleased for you. If you have frustrations with your network because you want systems and you want assistance in building your business, then first you need to ask. If you're like I was in 2018, wondering, can you leverage out the compliance? Can you get more support? Then you need to do your research. You need to phone all the different networks. You need to speak to all the DA organisations. You need to do your own research and your own due diligence and your own cost comparisons and percentage comparisons, working out what your actual vision is, so that therefore you can work with the right company to support and help you build the business that you want. If that's as a sole trader, one-man person with your administrator, husband and wife working upstairs and downstairs as a two-person team, living a great lifestyle, brilliant. If that's building out an organisation, as I know one of my very good friends that I've known since I was 15 has done underneath Primus, to more than 125 staff and doing 600 applications a month, then brilliant. Set your stall out, know your end goal, start with the end in mind, and find a network that's going to help you support and achieve that. Because the real frustration is having to change networks or change companies that you're working with, and having to go through all that rigmarole of what do you do with your pipeline, what don't you do with your pipeline. And for anyone that needs more support, coaching and mentoring and training and doesn't feel like they're getting it, that's why Mortgage Pro exists. That's why I do what I do. that's why I'm quite happy to say that there are debates, there are opposing views. I like going into debate. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't lose any respect for anyone who commented their opinions yesterday. I value it massively, and it gives an opportunity for me to learn, grow, and understand the industry better. Not just from people in my academy, but also for people from this group and from out there in the big wide world of mortgages as well. So I hope that gives you a little bit more of an informed choice and informed decision. You need to make your own informed decision of what's going to be right to you. But thanks very much for tuning in. And if you have any comments or questions, then please leave a comment below. And remember, now is the time to become pro. Equally, if you turn around and say, look, I know this interest rate is expensive because of X, Y, Z in your circumstances, you are subconsciously telling them, or what they are then thinking is, oh, this is expensive.